Hey everybody, Retired Navy Rob here. Welcome back to my channel. If you like the new intro, let me know. If you don't like it, let me know. Leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Now today I'm going to cover real quick. We'll go through and look at some currency. And I was actually on a channel, and in the chat they were asking questions about why was the seal this color and why was this seal that color. And I said, you know, I'm going to do a quick video and cover this and let people know. So back in 1863, up until then, the banks were printing their own money. They were backing their own money. You didn't know how much your money was worth when you went outside that region. You know, what could be worth $5 at one bank outside that area. You know, another bank wasn't obligated to pay you for it or even accept it. That and the federal government was then beginning to finance a war. And they needed some kind of uniformity to the money. So they started making unified money for the country. Well, sort of. Now, we're going to start off with the gold seal. As you see, it's a gold color. Serial numbers in gold. Serial numbers are usually the same color as the seal. Now this is a 1922. And up until 1933, with the exception of the World War I, they suspended the gold backing our money. And in 1933, our money was no longer backed by gold, and President Roosevelt pulled all the money back and made it illegal to own gold certificates like this and gold coinage. You could have jewelry, etc., but no gold coinage or bullion. And as you see on this, it says, you know, that this is legal tender. And then if you come down here, payable to the bearer on demand, $10 in gold coin. So you could take this here and get a $10 gold piece to back it up. The money was backed by gold. Now also, they started circulating them in about 1878. The U.S. had a stockpile of silver bullion, so they started backing money with both gold and silver. Both were in circulation. You see, this is a blue seal, which means it was backed by silver. This is national currency. This is actually a Federal Reserve banknote because it is 1918, but you could redeem this in silver. This was a silver certificate, just like the ones that you see. Just like this one. So this was payable in $1 silver. As you see, this seal's blue as well. Now, in addition to that, the federal government was allowing, from the 1800s, the individual banks to still print their money under charters. They would get a charter from the federal government, and that would allow them to print their own money. And this was known as national currency. This is what they have, the maroon or brown seal. Now, these were exchangeable through different banks. It unified things. The banks were controlled by the government. That 608 is the charter number. So that guaranteed, you know, that the federal government would back this bill between the different banks. Until the Great Depression hit. Then the Federal Reserve stepped in and took over. And you see it's the same bill pretty much. You have 4 signatures on this one. And down there you have president and cashier. This one here, it's a National Federal Reserve banknote. You got the 4 signatures, but if you look, they replaced president. In fact, you can see, you can still read president at the end of it with governor. And then they broke this down into the Federal Reserve system we have now. Your C would be for the Philadelphia Federal Reserve Bank. And there are, what, 12 of them? I can't remember off the top of my head. Now, we got some oddballs in there during World War II. So that if the Japanese would invade Hawaii, they made the maroon seal or the brown seal, whatever you want to call it, back out, but they marked them as Hawaii on the front and the back. And this way, if the Japanese invaded Hawaii and got their hands on the money supply, we can say we're not honoring anything like this Hawaii note. And also in the campaign in North Africa, they did the same thing for Nazi Germany, except it has the yellow seal, and it was modeled after the blue silver certificate. And if you can see the series 1934, it's got the big 10 on that side, and the printed out 10 over here. Unlike the Hawaii notes, there was no markings on them saying North Africa. But if the Nazis would have invaded and captured a bunch of money, we could just say we're not honoring anything anymore that has this gold seal and tell the world. And that way they wouldn't be able to spend it through proxy or what have you. The next one we have is the red seal. What's interesting about the red seal is this is actually, at the time, owning part of the national debt. And they kept this up until the 1960s. And they were good and still used as money until the mid-1990s. But you were basically buying part of the debt. by holding this. You held $100 worth of the debt, the national debt. And finally, we get up to what we know now is the lime green seal. And the regular seal. They're both pretty much the same. They're Federal Reserve notes. They're fiat currency. Barely worth the paper it's printed on. I think a sheet, a bill's worth of paper is worth about 10 cents. So, being fiat money, that's what it is. But if you look, the series 1934 had the light lime green seal compared to the seal there. The more modern day seal that you'll see on the current US $1. But that's a brief history of the seals. I want to thank you all for watching. Take a moment, like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and keep on stacking. Have a great day, everyone.